On to the finalists now. Professional judges will judge their presentation and have questions to ask following them. Competitors will have 7 minutes to give their pitch. Our official timer will stop the presenter after 7 minutes, which then we will have 5 minutes of questioning from our judges and through audience members if there is time potentially. Good luck to all the finalists. And now I'd like to welcome the first of the 4 finalists, ProSouls.
All right, here we go. Hi, my name is Dr. Esther Barnes. I'm a board-certified foot and ankle surgeon, an MBA student, and the CEO of ProSouls, a company that is developing a smart orthotic app that together with the precision custom foot orthotics will be a guide to empower feet and enhance lives. I don't have a clicker. Sorry, should have thought of that. Yeah, thank you. Should have thought of that. Okay, there you go. 3 out of 4 Americans say they've experienced foot pain. Of these, millions wait months to be treated, and while waiting, many revert to the internet for answers. Of the 10% of Americans who have diabetes, over 1 out of 7 of these develop foot ulcerations, and while oftentimes leading to amputation. With our smart orthotic app, ProSouls will guide its users to not only the resolution of foot pain, return to activity, and prevention of diabetic foot ulcerations with its precision custom foot orthotics, but also the delivery of these orthotics in a timely manner and on a platform that is accessible and convenient. Our accurate foot capture system and prescriptive treatment algorithm designed by a biomedical engineer and foot surgeon with over 10 years of clinical experience sets us apart from the alternatives. The answers to foot-specific questions will be combined with clinically relevant photogrammetric data obtained from taking photos of your foot with your phone to create precision custom foot orthotics. This is just a picture of what that looks like to give you a better idea. When considering the results of a preliminary marketing survey, which over 50 individuals completed, you could see that the following are the top features deemed most important of an orthotic app. As you can see, and not surprising, orthotic quality and the durability of the orthotic are, of course, important, as was the ease of use of the orthotic app itself. Also important were the incorporation of shoe recommendations and stretching recommendations, all which will be incorporated in the solution provided by ProSouls. When taking a closer look at the competition and considering 2 of the most important features of the orthotic app, the actual convenience of the orthotic app as well as the quality of the orthotics, ProSouls sets itself apart from the competition. While one can normally expect a high-quality orthotic when you go into a healthcare provider, this often comes at a compromise: the price, cost, accessibility, and access. At the same time, when going online, the options are often very poor quality, take a long time, and on platforms that are extremely cumbersome and difficult to use. We'll be targeting active individuals, busy individuals in their 40s and 50s who are turning to the internet for answers to their questions and relief of their foot pain. The global custom foot orthotic market is expected to grow from $3 to $6 billion by 2030. This growth is fueled by a number of factors, including the increasing incidence of diabetes, rising rates of plantar fasciitis, increasing senior population, as well as advancements in technology. Introducing the ProSouls team, I'm Dr. Esther Barnes. In addition to having 10 years of experience clinically treating people with their foot pain successfully with orthotics, I also have a degree in biomedical engineering and biomechanics. Joe Brega is a podorthist, which is a shoe and orthotic specialist. Joe and I have owned and managed a number of businesses, including medical practice. Our other partners, important to the team at this point, and just a few that I mentioned today, our software development team, Tim Christensen, as well as our legal counsel, Jason Collins of Garlington Lloyd Robinson, right here in Missoula. Our primary offering will be 1 pair of custom foot orthotics, which we price at $395 a pair. This is based on years of experience as well as results of our preliminary marketing survey. If ProSouls can capture 0.1% of the North American custom foot orthotic market, which it can reasonably do with its current resources, its current space and staff it has available, it can foresee a revenue of over $3 million in a profit margin of over 40%. And this, again, is based on very conservative, bottom-up financial projections. When using Weinberg and Mayer's ringed approach to developing traction, we've divvied up our possible traction channels into 3 channels. Traction testing will be performed on those in the middle channel, and the results used to determine customer acquisition cost, number of customers, and quality of customers, and all the assumptions made in our financial model can be altered and improved upon based on that. And I could go into any details of my financial model if you have any questions. So what's been done to date? While software development has been initiated, there exists a current pool of very happy patients and people. As ProSouls will essentially be converting what its team has been doing for years, helping people with their foot pain and preventing foot ulcerations, to a platform that is more accessible to more people. Just as important as the primary offering is the opportunities for growth and expansion that exist, particularly in regard to the diabetic foot. There currently are remote sensor monitoring platforms that exist available on one's iPhone. For example, skin temperatures can be monitored, and physicians can be alerted of high problem areas before they occur. Well, this is wonderful. Without immediate treatment of these high problem areas, with immediate directive precision custom foot orthotics, these ulcerations can progress and oftentimes lead to amputation. We look forward to exploring ways by which we can incorporate the diagnostic tools into the Smart Orthotic app, and therefore allow for timely treatment of these ulcerations, to attempt to prevent ulcerations before they develop, and address them in a timely fashion when they do, thereby reducing the risk for amputation. Other growth opportunities exist. There's definite room for scalability with this model. My model is based on the resources we have currently available, but there are the means to produce up to 12 pairs of orthotics at one time. So I just wanted to mention that. That was a question earlier, so I added that. When taking a look at the timeline, we will continue with software development through the second and third quarters of this year, as well as research and development, in addition to addressing legal and compliance issues. Product testing will continue through the third quarter with a go-live date in the fourth quarter of this year. So why now? Well, many of us providers feel that we have a bit of a healthcare crisis we're dealing with provider shortages, burnout, poor outcomes, increasing cost, increasing wait times, and a more reactive focus as opposed to proactive and preventative focus. We feel like there's no better time to take a closer look at the healthcare that we currently provide and explore options and explore possibilities and alternatives. In addition to that, with the technological advances that are taking place at this moment, especially with scanning devices and the photogrammetry that I mentioned, as well as the heightened focus on patient-centric care and patient involvement in their care, we see this as a prime opportunity, an opportunity to assess the status quo, to challenge the status quo, and make improvements. So the ask in the end, while we'd greatly appreciate any investment in our company, I'm happy to speak with anybody, really in the end, we're greatly appreciative of any support, any feedback, any input, and really genuinely your support. Thank you. Yes?
So, two-part question.
Sorry.
How does it work? How do you get the scan? So how does the technology work? How do you get the scan, specifically the scan of the arch in the bottom of the?
Got it.
Then secondly, how is the software going to react to human error in uploading it to maintain the quality of the design that you'll end up producing?
That's an excellent question. So there's two components to the software. There's going to be the scanning apparatus that is kind of what's ubiquitous with all the devices that are out there, all the apps that are out there. So your foot will be scanned. It's difficult to scan the bottom of the foot. That's why they're dysfunctional. They don't really incorporate any clinically relevant and biomechanically relevant data. It's just a foot not weight bearing. But we need that scan to get certain variables, and that will be combined with the photogrammetry, which is taking photos of certain aspects of the foot. One will be like the inside of the arch, one will be the back of the heel, weight bearing, all weight bearing. We'll also take a look at, we'll also have photos taken when the patient is asked to basically move their toe. Long story short, there's biomechanical consequences to that help us determine how much an arch can move and direct our prescriptive treatment plan. So all those variables will be combined with the scan.
Is it AI driven, or is it human
It
interaction
can be.
after
There's
the pictures come to you?
possibility. So in the beginning, it'll be human driven, but there's great potential for it to be for machine learning to be incorporated in with that algorithm. Yes. You had a second question. I will say the second.
No, the second one was you're using humans. You
Okay.
if
Thank you.
there's error in the scan,
Got it.
you're going to catch it before production.
Absolutely. Oh, most certainly. So in the beginning, most certainly. So I'm going to be involved with all that. The prescriptive algorithm is going to be directed by me and then improved upon in time.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say AI, but I'm glad you didn't.
It needs to be trained from somewhere.
Agreed.
Any other questions? Great question. Thank you.
Can you talk through your pricing and how it compares to your competitors?
Yes, absolutely. In terms of orthotics available in health clinics, the price is very competitive. So there's orthotics that a lot of podiatrists charge up to $800, sometimes $600. The average is about $500. I always our rates in our clinic were always less than $400 to make it accessible. So it's very competitive with healthcare providers. What's available online, there are some cheaper versions available online, but they're a lot cheaper products. So we don't want to compromise the quality, as we noted, and based on my experience, the quality is number one, so that's going to be our key. So it's competitive even with online. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate not just have the orthotic, but also have a platform, a prescriptive treatment plan that includes shoe recommendations. So based on the scans of their foot, the variables that they have, all the answers to the questions that they that are inputted into the app or the website, if they do it that way, will be incorporated into a treatment plan, which also includes shoe recommendations. So shoe recommendations are just an important part of their treatment plan, as are stretching recommendations and strengthening recommendations, and the possibility of televisits. So it'll be like a one price for all that. Is that making sense? So there's value added to what's offered online, is what I'm essentially trying to say.
So what about your costs? Any strategy, because they seem pretty stable in the table that you present. Do you see any possibility of making them going down?
Yeah, so you can see the first year our variable costs, which includes all the startup costs. Okay, so that includes all the software development, all the equipment purchases, etc., legal advice. So you can see it's pretty high in the first year. But then I do see them. You're exactly right. One thing that this model doesn't take into consideration, it just considers what we can provide. I'm kind of with my medical practice and other businesses, I feel like it's very helpful to be very conservative with your assumptions. So my assumptions are all based on what resources we have currently. But with the scalability, if we're able to basically print 12 pairs of orthotics, of course, our variable costs will certainly go down.
Yeah, even direct costs, you think is margin to go down or not? Really?
So the direct costs, not as much. You know why? Because even though you have to print 12 pairs of orthotics, you still have to take them out of the machine, put a top cover on, and there's some labor involved. It will decrease a little bit.
So it's mostly labor, not raw materials.
The raw materials will be the same. So that won't change whether it's a milling machine that makes 12 versus 2. With the exception of some like bulk, like the more you buy, you can have a little discount. But
and just one final question on the costs for this platform, where you will provide recommendation about exercise.
Yes.
How do you plan to keep people engaged in the platform?
That is an excellent question. So, a lot of people have more than one set of orthotics, first of all. So they have a pair for their cycling shoes, their golf shoes, their hiking shoes, etc. So that will be something where we can keep people engaged and remind them and set up a system by which we alert them of a new opportunity. In terms of I think there's a great room for opportunity to keep them engaged with just new stretching recommendations, kind of that would be incorporated into their prescriptive treatment plan. And honestly, and I just their treatment and their foot issues can change in time. They'll have a foot profile, just based on my history of practicing. Someone will come in for plantar fasciitis. That's great. You solve that problem. 3 years later, they have another issue. So I foresee it as being something, oh yeah, we got your scans. Nothing's really changed. All we need to do is do this little bit of adjustment to the insert. We'll mail that out in 2 days. So they'll have a foot profile for each foot, and then they'll have like a profile, their person profile, and that can be incorporated into that as things progress and change, as their needs change. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, we have time for one more question.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try to be as concise as possible. Along the way, you've answered some of my questions, but one of the things that I was imagining was that this would save you time.
Yes.
And yet, the more you talk, the more I'm not convinced of that. And so if you would circle back to how this is going to save you time when we're talking about a healthcare industry that's feeling so weighted.
Yes.
But it sounds like you have a lot of services that you're folding in. So
a lot of that will be
little bit.
automated in time. So for example, if someone comes in with a certain arch height, that will be quantified and categorized. So if their arch height is over a certain amount, and we'll have variables that that quantify that, it would automate it in that degree. So not up front, but it will take time, and a lot of that can be automated. That's a good point. That is a good point, because that's really the intention in the end.
It's a lot of extra work in the front end.
Yeah, a lot of work in the front end. That's understandable, but it's an exciting challenge.
Absolutely.
If it could automate processes and take the work off providers down the road. And I see this as an opportunity for partnerships with other providers as well, because a lot of people are burdened by the kind of the efforts and the time that is taken to do these orthotics. A lot of people are doing more surgery. I could talk about that another day. But so I think it's worth the investment that's going to be needed up front to provide more efficiencies and more streamlined care down the road.
Thank you.
You betcha. Great questions. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ProSouls. We will now have Safe Haven give their pitch.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carl Shaw, and I'm the founder and CEO of Safe Haven Home Services. Growing up in rural Montana, my mom was a CNA at the local nursing home. Given this experience, it's given me a unique look into seniors and how they age. In fact, my mom's uncle lived with us for 6 years until he passed away. And this also gave me a new understanding and a deep love and appreciation for how seniors age. Every day, 10,000 people turn 65 years old in the United States. This is because of the aging baby boomer generation, and nursing homes simply cannot keep up. Over 90% of seniors want to age in place, but falls are the number one reason, or are the number one cause of injuries for these seniors in the United States. According to the National Council on Aging, USA nursing home costs are over $9,000 per month. This is simply unaffordable for the majority of seniors in the United States. This is where Safe Haven comes in. Our team is going to come into the home and give a comprehensive 250-point survey to address each aging adult's unique needs. Then we're going to come through and complete these renovations. Our tech team is going to come and install monitoring services, and then we're going to support these seniors' aging in place journey with subscriptions. Obviously, we're going to market this to seniors and their families. The United States elder care market is expected to grow to $227 billion by the year 2030, according to Zion Research. In Missoula and surrounding counties, there's over 25,000 senior-owned and occupied homes. Safe Haven Home Services is looking to capture just 2% of that market, or about 500 homes. So how are we going to do this? Like I said earlier, our aging-in-place certified contractors and physical therapists are going to come in and assess each client's unique needs. Then we're going to come through and install things like grab handles, ramps, and senior accessible showers. Then our tech team's going to come through and introduce new leading LiDAR sensing technology so these seniors can be remotely monitored by whoever they care about. And then, like I said, we're going to enable their aging in place journey with our monthly subscription plans. So how much is this all going to cost? Well, for our hourly house call type work, think a leaky faucet, it's going to start at $85 an hour for these seniors. Our monthly subscriptions are going to start at $199, and our aging in place renovations are going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000. That's a lot of dough for seniors who are typically on a low fixed income. We fix this in 3 ways. The first way is there are grants available for these seniors for aging in place services. A percentage of our services are covered by Medicare, and the third is their kids are typically willing to pay, say, a $30,000 renovation as opposed to $108,000 per year in average nursing home costs. How are we going to get the word out to these people? Well, first off, for their kids, we're going to focus on digital marketing. So think Facebook ads and Google ads. Our most important marketing channel is going to be with healthcare organizations in Missoula and surrounding counties, so we can help better serve their clients and vice versa. Then we're going to implement a strategic direct mail campaign to get the word out to these seniors. Now, we do have a few competitors in this space, but I would argue this validates the need for this service in the aging space. First off, we have HandyPro, which is a national franchise with about 20 locations. Each franchise makes anywhere from $100K to $3 million per year. Here in the Pacific Northwest, there is nothing like it. There are 0 aging in place specialized contractors helping out our seniors. And obviously, our main competitor is nursing homes. Once again, my name's Carl Shaw, and I'm a junior studying management information systems and data analytics here at the College of Business. And arguably, our most important member of the team is Jessica Johnson at Hamilton Physical Therapy. She's a recent UMPT grad, and she's providing us the latest and greatest in occupational and physical therapy insights. A little bit about our financials here. Year 1, we're projected to make over $200,000 in revenue, which will increase to $1.8 million in year 5. And this is for 1 location. Our location strategy is to move up into the Flathead and then eventually to every major city in Montana, and then explore potential franchising options. And these projections only include hourly and subscription rates due to the huge ambiguity in custom projects. Some local traction that we already have. We've helped 2 families complete aging in place services with our company. We have over 30 families committed to an initial consultation with Safe Haven Home Services. And we've already developed 3 strategic medical partnerships here in Missoula County. And I'm proud to say that we've saved seniors and their families over $50,000 to date. So why is now important? Well, first off, it's the huge advancement in technology that we have. We now have LiDAR sensors that can even detect heartbeats with non-wearable devices. There's a huge wait list for senior care facilities. These facilities are understaffed, and our seniors are eating microwaved food. My Safe Haven Home Services has a relatively low startup cost of about $50,000. This would enable us to be boots on the ground, helping seniors age in place here in Missoula County. And arguably the most important is the increased insurance provider support. More and more insurance agencies that we've talked to, such as Marsh McLennan and our partner Hellman Health Insurance here in Missoula, have indicated that more and more insurance companies are willing to cover this under a preventative basis. Now, judges, I would please ask you to reflect on your own personal lives and think about those who are aging. And ask yourselves, are nursing homes the right option for them? Thank you.
Thanks. That was a great presentation. Just 2 questions really briefly. With contractors, sometimes it's really hard to get a contractor out in a timely fashion and get them to do the work. So are you going to keep like a full-time staff of contractors going? And the second question is, are there any privacy concerns with the LiDAR and being in the person's home? Do you see any, like with remote monitoring, are there any privacy concerns you need to address?
So Safe Haven Home Services will keep a full staff of contractor services. We'll handle all of the home maintenance needs. So we won't have to worry about contractors being late. If they are, it's our fault. Second off, Safe Haven Home Services, to be clear, is a non-care, non-medical provider. We have partners in the community such as Hoblet Home Care and Missoula Aging Services that will provide the in-home care for these seniors.
So I want to talk about competition a little bit. What part of your business is defensible? You mentioned a 250-point inspection plan. Is this common knowledge? Is this what you guys have determined as best practices? And how are you going to deal with one-off contractors who start to duplicate your model?
Of course. So our 250-point inspection, all of our contracts are going to be aging in place certified through the National Council on Aging, and with that comes the proprietary 250-point inspection. So although there's nothing I can really do to stop your local handyman from fixing stuff for seniors, what we can do is offer that specialized holistic care where we can take care of the home and take care of seniors' health needs through our partner network.
So, well, thank you. Great presentation, great idea. Regarding the pricing, you present, for instance, a subscription based on $199. So do you think it's fine to charge the same price to any situation, or you might have more complicated issues that could require more sophisticated pricing according to the situations that you have to deal when you are serving a given customer that might have a more or less complicated situation?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd happy to provide some clarification there. The $199 price point is our MVP. So that gets you 2 hours per month in maintenance services with our contractors. With more with more intense needs of the seniors, everybody's different. We understand that. If a senior is going to require 6 hours of care per day, maybe that's companionship services, maybe that's taking them to the doctor, maybe that's making sure they take care of their medication. Say 6 hours a day, that subscription is going to be more like $2,500 a month because we're contracting with Hoblet Homes and Missoula Aging Services. But to be clear, $2,500 a month compared to $9,000 a month. I'm sure you guys can do the math.
I love the idea that you're partnering, but I also know as a Missoulian that Missoula Aging Services is a volunteer organization, and they're struggling to find volunteers to meet their needs. And you're talking about using partnerships to create profit for your business from a nonprofit. Have you thought of other partners outside of nonprofits that would support your system? And I think more pointedly, I was thinking about that social care aspect that you just dovetailed in that last comment.
Of course. So I included Missoula Aging Services. I'm fully aware they're a nonprofit. I included that just because, like I said earlier, a lot of these seniors are on a super low fixed income. So maybe as a cheaper option for them, we could use Missoula Aging Services, which we would make absolutely zero profit off of. What our for-profit model is with Hoblet Home Care, who does the same exact thing, who we'd contract with.
How are you going to compete for labor? The same people you want to hire to renovate the homes are building super expensive homes in other parts of Missoula today at very high prices. So you're competing for the same labor pool, and you need the same people.
yes, we're competing for the same labor pool, but we're going after more of the handyman style work. We're not looking for we're obviously looking for carpenters and that type of people. But to stay competitive, we're gonna pay our contractors $35 an hour to start. And I feel like through research, I feel that's a very competitive wage here in Missoula. And as far as a manager for the location, they're gonna be salaried at about $85,000 per year with a profit sharing incentive. Thank you, judges, for your time.
We now will have StarSync come down.
Thank you. Testing. Sweet. Sorry.
All right, hello, my name is Marley Miller, and I'm here with my team today to talk to you about our software product, StarSync Studio. This is going to be a real-time multiplayer digital audio workstation for music creators all around the world.
So what's the problem that we're trying to address? Collaboration is a very important part of the music-making process for both producers and musicians. Current DAWs do not have the digital infrastructure that supports real-time collaboration or any multiplayer capabilities. Files must be sent back and forth again and again, and the whole process is incredibly incohesive. So what's our solution? A real-time multiplayer digital audio workstation that allows artists to collaborate from around the world. This will allow our users to make music more efficiently, create differently in a new DAW, and collaborate with people worldwide.
So let's talk a little about the market size. In 2023, it was $2.93 billion worldwide. It is expected to hit $6.84 billion by 2023. Currently, North America holds the largest market size in this industry, and there's only really 21 companies right now that have big stake in this industry. From 2023 to 2033, that is an 8.85% increase.
Yeah, so next we will go into our business model, STAR. First off, it's going to be the S, which is for our subscription-based payment method. Many of these DAWs that you can see now will charge anywhere from $200 to $600 to buy, which is a very steep price and can scare off a lot of potential consumers, especially if they cannot or do not want to pay that amount for the software. We plan to combat this with our subscription-based payment. Next up is going to bring us over to our T, which is our tiered pricing. We will have 3 different tiers, which will be tailored to whatever your needs are. Whether you are a beginner or an expert in this field, you can either go from the cheapest or the most expensive, depending on what needs that you have. This will also bring us over to our A, which is our add-on marketplace. This will help our creators expand on their projects with plugins, as well as samples that they can purchase for all of their projects with a one-time purchase. And then finally, this will bring us to our R, which is our real-time collaboration. This is the heart and soul of our company as a whole, as we really are striving to allow creators from all different walks of life, whether they are in the music industry or not, create projects through our DAW, no matter where they are in the world.
So let's talk a little bit about marketing channels for this. So first off, we're obviously going to do social media. So TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We're going to use YouTube to kind of show, what our DAW can do, give tutorials and stuff like that. Conferences is where we have our bread and butter and where our connections from years really come into play. We have Polestar Live, the International Entertainment Buyers Association, South by Southwest, and many more. Our whole team has actually been here to Polestar Live, which think of it as like the Grammys, but for people behind the scenes. So like Taylor Swift's, tour manager or agent, they get an award there. And what it is just for networking for these people. So the biggest agents of the world, some of the biggest artists of the world, we just got to see Bon Jovi here in February, actually go to this and just network with other people. So actually going there and tabling, because that is something you can do there with our software, is going to be a huge part of our marketing strategy. Going off of that, we're going to do paid advertising, of course, Google ads, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, the common stuff. But then we're also going to do partnerships and sponsorships. There are actually quite a few influencers with millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram that just like watching people make music. Or I guess people like watching them make music, excuse me. But then also going to universities, music schools, and other avenues like that is going to be a huge part.
Yeah, so next up, this brings us to our competition. As we stated before, currently there are about 21 other DAWs that you can purchase, but only a few of these offer one piece of collaboration, and many of them don't offer any whatsoever. One of them that we do want to touch on is audio movers. They would allow, let's say me and Marley are currently working on a song together. I'm at my house, he is at his house. I can play an instrument, and it would immediately load onto both of our projects, and we could both tweak or manipulate, let's say, the pitch or the notes for those instruments. However, they don't offer collaboration or manipulation of any other parts of the DAWs. For ours, we would allow full manipulation of all the aspects, whether that be the vocals, whether that be the add-ons, whether that be the samples, you name it. Anybody who is on the project, from 1 person to 10 people, or however many are collaborating at once, would have the ability to manipulate those. Also, with previous products, they are very hard to set up. They are not user-friendly whatsoever. If you don't have experience with producing or using these softwares already, you're likely not going to be able to use it. We offer a very user-friendly and user-based program with tutorials as well as help buttons and help icons that will help you guide you through the experience so that anybody from a beginner to an absolute expert can utilize our software to the best potential.
So why are we the team to lead this? Once again, my name is Marley Miller. I'm the CEO and founder. I'm a very long-time producer with over 15,000 hours of music production. Both my parents are musicians. I'm the president of the entertainment management student group here on campus. Shout out to them for helping put on this event. I work at the Adams Center. I work at Logjam Presents, production coordinator for Under the Big Sky and Whitefish, and as well as a lot of other things.
My name is Nick Scharbach. I'm a senior here at the School of Business. I'm also getting my certificate in entertainment management. I'm also a live event marketer as well as an artist and band manager, and we'll be hosting a a concert here on campus for free next Sunday. If you want to come, it will be in the River Bowl.
I'm Tiger Pixton. I'm a musician, show organizer, and music manager. I've also done a lot of music collaboration projects, not only with people out of the state, but in different countries. So I have a really in-depth understanding of what needs to be fulfilled in these new DAWs for real-time collaboration.
And Quinn could not be here because his boss wouldn't let him come do this event. Lovely. But he is our lead developer. He is a computer science major, but he also has music production under. He produces a lot of music. So he really brings our team together. But then going off of that, I just wanted to kind of show some testimonials here to actually show that we've went out and talked to people about this. We have an email list of people who are ready to use our software once it becomes a thing. And I really want to highlight one, Maria Brunner here. She's worked with artists like Elton John, Bad Bunny, Metallica, and I'm talking like face to face. And with talking with her, she literally just said, "Why has this not been done?" And I think that is a great statement.
So our ask is we're asking for consideration for the top prize here. All of the money that we win is going to go into reinvestment into our DAW to make sure that our product fulfills the services that these musicians deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the current gap between what you have now and what you want to be investing in?
Yeah, so we have a pre-prototype that already allows multiplayer functionality in it. It's a web-based platform right now. So we're really here at this competition to really start this company off. Our startup costs would be fairly simple just because we don't need a building, we don't need an actual location, we just need developers to actually help us put out this or develop this further. The median developer wage here in the United States is $88,000, and that's according to Indeed.com. But there are startup websites that allow you to reach out to developers who are interested in startups for some equity or even just for lesser price. But we're looking to really scale this to a larger capacity in the future. And I just want to say, I know you're looking at this right now. I just want to show really quick. FL Studio, which is one of the main digital audio workstations on the market right now, is installed over 10 million times a year. I'm using pretty conservative amount here, only 10,000 on year 3, and then on the other ones, only 1,000 subscriptions per month. This financial model is kind of assuming, this is at our 3 different price points as well, which can fluctuate, but this is assuming that each sub is reoccurring each month. But just to, FL Studio gets 10 million according to their website, which is a huge margin, and we're not really, we're only doing about 12,000 and 120,000 a year, so. Yes?
So, are multiple versions of each track stored on your servers? How do you manage the cost of that? That could get pretty expensive.
Yeah, so That would be a good developer question. I wish his boss would let him be here. But when we were looking at it, we're looking at Amazon servers right now. We were looking at game servers specifically through Amazon. And the cost that we were looking at was around $7,000 a year, which from what we were seeing and from what I'm understanding was not that expensive. And the power per hour ratio was not that high. Why we choose to do gaming servers would be because we would have up to like 8 people or 10 people on a project. And it would really allow like latency to be very minimal. Does that answer your question? Okay.
How long do you think it would take you to build it, like from where you are now to you have a viable product you can sell?
So with our mentor here on campus, Sam Luther, and with our developer, the prototype that we have right now was built in about 4 days, to be honest. And if we got like one full-time freelancer, I could see it really happening in a year, as well as like we already have the connections with like, I was talking about Maria Brunner. She's already offered up connections to further this. One of my good mentors is named Steve Evans. He's with Show Imaging, and he's the CEO of the third biggest production or event production company in the United States. And they have all already been people who I've talked to. So like using their connections, plus if we had enough investments to get like 1 or 2 full-time developers, I really see that it could happen in 1 to 2 years.
Additionally, in regards to DAWs, there's a lot of open source code that's readily available. The one thing that wasn't available is the real-time multiplayer capabilities, and that's something that we've already dug into in our beta. So it would really just be using that open source code, utilizing it to fit what we want our DAW to look like, and then incorporating this aspect that we've already started on.
Yeah, and I just want to also bring this up really quick, just because a lot of people don't know like necessarily what a digital audio workstation looks like. So this is FL Studio, and I just want to kind of show it really quick. Looks very complex, but once again, we want to make ours beginner friendly. Yes.
So in this business, do you have to worry about protection rights of over the content that people are uploading? If so, how do you?
Yeah, so something we were talking about is like when you load up a project with someone is having a customizable like contract that is legally binding. When you're agreeing to like download the software, it would pop up and like it would be very, very apparent. And then something that is done in distribution of music right now is like, say, I actually have music uploaded on like all platforms, and what I have to do is then like allocate what percentage of the rights go to where. And so that is something that we would try to integrate right away into our digital audio workstation as people come onto the project.
In your examples, which the financials are on, and you had other examples that are out there, you're offering more than what is out there. What you're communicating is real-time interaction and collaboration, but yet it looks like you're charging less for your subscription model. Why?
So because we have like this, because of the learning curve to digital audio workstations just in general, we want to make sure that there is one that is like low risk, so that people are able to actually go into there and just like learn about it and then use it. And if it's not for them, then they can cancel. These are subject to change. We can always up these if needed. This is not hard. This is, once again, very, very conservative amounts. But we've already been talking through judges, opinions as well, who's echoed the same things, maybe raising that quite a bit. Yes.
Also, DAWs are kind of like coding languages. Once you start to get one down, it's very rare that you see someone leave. So like when you look at the most pristine version of Ableton right now, it's $600 at a flat rate, which means a lot of people see it and they're just immediately turned off to the idea altogether. Our most expensive version right now is $60. So that means within 10 months, you would like return the investment that.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And then of course, if they're reoccurring over years and stuff, like it just builds and builds and builds, which would be amazing.
And we also like the $9.99 because it's almost like a freemium. So it kind of draws people in to try it out, and then they kind of get sucked in and want to kind of figure out what features the other ones offer. And in that way, they will kind of build off of that.
And I want to stick by that one just because it would be very basic. Like FL Studio with their freemium one doesn't even allow you to save songs on it. So like we could kind of adapt that to our own, where it's like you're still paying, but if you want to save your song, you have to upgrade, which kind of sucks, but it's already been done right now, so.
You're so thoughtful.
And that's time.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Awesome job to all final presenters. You guys killed it. Now, before I send you guys on a little bit of a break to eat some food and drink some beverage, we have some sponsors to shout out. So once again, this event would not be possible without all of our wonderful sponsors and people who participated. This is not just a one-day event. It takes a lot to put this on, and so thank you to everyone. So we have gold sponsors here: Big Sky Brewing, Boyle, Devaney, and Meyer; 5 on Black, who are supporting the Intent to Launch Prize this evening; Keys AI, Market on Front; Patient One, who is sponsoring the Health Tech Award this evening, recognizing the venture with the most promising technology solution to help solve some of the greatest challenges in healthcare; Take Control Montana, The Still Room, and VBX, who is sponsoring the Creativity Prize this year. This prize celebrates the venture demonstrating the greatest combination of originality and value. VBX is Missoula's first venture studio and recognizes creative thinking as a key condition of value-based entrepreneurship and regional innovation.
We would also like to shout out our silver sponsors. We would like to shout out MoFi and Pinion, as well as FKA Anderson Zermulin and Think Green Incorporated. And with that, we'd like to commence intermission.